We hop right into this episode into a game, as here we have a critical situation where the bases are loaded here. Same series as it ended last episode in the Washington series. And to tie the game, we get a perfect hit. Gets knocked down, but it's still a base knock here with Austin Meadows. So we tie the game here in the ninth, 5-5. Next batter up is Kevin Kiermaier, and he proceeds to rip one to the gap and will bring home all the runners here as he gets a base clearing triple here, his second triple of the year, and he makes it 8-5 here in the ninth inning. The Nationals would call upon another pitcher here, but not really too much of a worry, as Dansby Swanson will rip one in the left field for an easy double and make it 9-5. And that's all the Nationals needed, or the Athletics needed here, to win the game, as they will call upon their closer in Josh Hader. It would not be a close situation or a safe situation, but he'd get Juan Soto out easily here on a slider low, and then he'd get the next person out. I forget who it is. I think it was Kiva Ruiz, and then Lane Thomas here will dribble one back up to himself, and they would get out of the game here, as Oakland wins 9-5 as they continue their hot start to the season here, and they win the series against Washington. As you can see, everyone's player stats here, and a good game from Shea Langeliers.
Eat the same thing, sleep the same way, get to the ballpark.
Before we hop into the next game here, we'll take a look at our next opponent, the New York Yankees. We'll look at their roster here. As you can see, pretty much the same. They added Jose Abreu during the off season, but they still have mostly the same roster as they did last year when we played them. Maybe the only changes will be in the pitching rotation or the bullpen. I myself cannot remember who was on those, but I do know that we will be playing Luis Gil, or Gil, I don't know how to say his name, but he would be their starter on the day. And most of these guys are not playing. I mean, Oswald Peraza, I don't know if he was called up last year, but he is also there for them. And we'll jump over here real quick before the game to check out the records. You can see we are tied with the Astros in the West at 7-1. Mariners are 5-3, Rangers 4-4, Angels 2-5, and the Yankees are at the top of their division at 5-2. The Athletics travel out to New York, in a ballpark I never want to visit myself, as we will take on the New York Yankees here, two of the top teams in their respective divisions. As on the mound for them, like I said before, it is Luis Gil, and he's had a good first start here in this campaign, got a 5 strikeout game. As on the mound for us will be Caleb Killian, making his second start of the year, the only pitcher that started off the year with a loss. As we'll jump right into the first inning here, it is Bo Karlik here in a 1-2 count, and he'll fly one out into left field as Stanton's slow ass finally gets over there for out number 1. And you'll see our lineup here for today, pretty much the exact same thing as it will be most of the year, at least to start here. Lawrence Butler, you see most of our guys are doing all right or struggling, but a guy who's been doing amazing so far is Austin Meadows, and he grounds out here to Jose Abreu for out number 3. And we end the first inning no hits and no runs, no error for the Yankees. We'll then jump over to the bottom half of the first inning, where it is Jonathan VR leading it off for them, and Caleb Killian gets him to ground out to second base for out number 1. And we'll take a look at the Yankees lineup, where they have a array of changes here, or differences I should say. You got guys like Giancarlo Stanton and Gleyber Torres doing amazing to start, and then you have guys like Jock Peterson who aren't doing so hot, and Jonathan VR. But middle of the road lineup mostly. DJ LeMahieu here is the second batter as he drills one in the right field for a base knock to get the hitting party started for the Yankees. Next batter would be Jock Peterson as the ball gets away for Soderstrom, and then he casually just tosses it over Lawrence Butler's head and lets DJ LeMahieu go over to second base as Meadows gets it in quickly. Nothing would amount to it though, as Jock Peterson will proceed to get out here on a ground ball to Swanson, who bobbles it quickly but recovers and gets out number 3 to end the first inning. Now we jump over to the top of the third, where it's Asan Diaz here with 1 out, and he rips one to the left for a base knock, and it would be an easy double here for him, as Stan's power forearm cannot get him out at second in time. That'd be Asan Diaz's first double of the year. And then a few batters later, it will be Bo Karlik here, and he would proceed to drive in Asan Diaz from second base with a rip up the middle for a base knock. And that we would start off the scoring early as we take a 1-0 lead here in New York in the top of the third. We would eventually not score anything else, as Dansby Swanson would come out on a hit and run with 2-2, and he'd strike out. So it'd be the end of the third. We now go over to the bottom of the fourth, where Caleb Killian was having a good start until Giancarlo Stanton gets a hanging pitch in the zone, and he drills it to left field, and that ball is gone as he hits the home run, which will be a trend for the New York Yankees, as I had to hear this stupid horn over and over again this game. You can see the very next batter we face, Jock Peterson, he decides he wants a home run too with his sub 100 average, and he drills one to right field, and they make it a 2-1 game here. Next, or a few batters later, would be Miguel Andujar, and he would get out of the inning here. So only 2 runs allowed, but they were both big solo shots from the big muscular men. And now we jump over to the top of the fifth now, where Ironman decided he wants to join the home run party. A moonshot in the left field. I think it's his 3rd home run, or maybe 4th home run. I'm not sure, but he was off to a powerful start of the year. As he tries to continue to get better here. 2 outs later that inning, it's Kiermaier grounding out to Abreu, and the 5th inning ends all tied up at 2 here. A good game to be expected from these two teams. We then jump to the bottom of the 5th, where it's Seth Brown, former Athletic, and he drills one into left field, and that ball would sneak over the wall. It would be 3-2 New York after that, as Seth Brown always finds a way to hit a home run against me. We would call upon Paul Blackburn after a walk to the next batter, and he would proceed to get a double play here, which would then basically lead to the end of the inning as the next batter up, or actually a few batters later maybe, DJ LeMahieu will line out and be the end of the 5th inning there. We then go on to the next inning, I think the bottom of the 6th, or the top of the 6th, where Nestor Cortez would come on the mound, everyone's favorite lefty besides mine. He would proceed to face Bo Karlik first, and Karlik would pop up a bunt, but the way it landed would make it tough for anyone to make that play, so he starts off with a lead-off hit. We then face Dansby Swanson here on a terribly timed hit and run from Bo Karlik. Turns around, and a bad throw back to first gets him back in first safely. I don't know how we got away with that there, but a 3-1 count. Swanson would hit a fly ball into center field for out number 1 here, as Karlik stays at first. We then go on to Austin Meadows here. In a 3-1 count, Karlik steals, but it would not matter, as it is a walk for Austin Meadows, bringing up JD Martinez, who's 0 for 2 on the day here, and he'd keep that up with a ground ball to third. Second and third get there safely, and then Martinez error would get him on at first base. So now the bases are loaded. A strikeout here from Lawrence Butler, who I was tempted to bring out Albert Pujols, but I did not. And then Soderstrom, he hits a fly ball, and Stanton's slow ass somehow gets there in time, and it's still 3-2 New York. We then jump to the bottom of the 7th, where it's Seth Brown again, and he would draw a walk to start, or with 1 out in the inning, which brings up Ben. I'm not even going to pronounce that last name, but it's a fly ball, and you can kiss that one goodbye. A 5-2 lead now for New York, as Big Ben, the catcher here, I don't really know how to say that name, but I'm not going to attempt it until I look it up. And then Jonathan VR, next at bat, decides he also wants a home run. So Skinny Man, he drills one in the right field. It is 6-2 New York, as the home runs just keep happening here. We then go on to the top of the 8th here, pretty much out of the game, but Meadows also wanted a home run, and he drills a hanging pitch from Nestor Cortez into right field. I think that was the furthest home run hit out of all the home runs today. Could be wrong though, I didn't look at any of them. Meadows drills, I believe that was his 4th home run of the year. But that would basically be it for either team as Lucas, yeah, another name I don't know how to pronounce, comes on for the save. First batter he'd face is Albert Pujols, and he'd get him striking out. 2 runners on, we call upon Max Muncy after back-to-back walks. Almost gets a base knock here, but a great play by Jose Abreu to rob us of another run, which then brings up Kevin Kiermaier here with 2 outs and a 1-2 count, and he would proceed to fly out into, I believe, left center. I don't know who got it though, center fielder. And that would be the end of the game. New York picks up the win here, 6-3. Player of the game, I believe, goes to Seth Brown, but I honestly have no clue. The loss would go to Caleb Killian, or actually it might have gone to Blackburn. All I know is that the win went to Gil. The loss goes to Caleb Killian, and Lucas gets his 2nd save of the year. Yankees had 10 hits on the day, 6 runs. John Peterson won player of the game. Meadows had a good game for us. Ironman had that big bomb. Bo Karlik went 2 for 4. And then you can see all their players that hit home runs and got doubles, and that's because that's all the Yankees. As you can see here, though, 10 hits on 6 runs for them. We only had 5 hits and got 3 runs. We return home to Oakland as we face the Texas Rangers division rivals here. We are 11-4, they are 7-8, and on the mound for us is Taijuan Walker here, making his 4th start of the year. And on the mound for them is Dane Dunning, who is fresh off a complete game shutout here, having a good start to the year in his first 4 starts. We'll start off on the defensive side, where it's Marcus Semien starting it off for the Rangers, getting a base knock here to start the game. And then next batter up here would be, I don't remember, I think it's Bubba Thompson. And Bubba Thompson would hit a line drive base hit. So 2 early base runners here for the Rangers, trying to get the momentum going on their side early and, well, quickly. Call upon Corey Seager now, who gets a curveball right over the middle. And it's almost a double play, but it is not turned in time. And after last game with the Yankees was a home run game, you will see that this game is a double play game, as there are many double plays turned. Here is almost one, but an airmailed throw would not get the double play, so it's 1-0 Rangers here. And then I believe that was Miller. He drills one in the center, and Kiermaier gets it for out number 3. We then go to Dane Dunning, which apparently I never cut that clip out, but he would work an easy 1-2-3 inning to start the first. So it is 1-0 Rangers here after the first inning, and now we jump over to the top of the 3rd, where Taijuan Walker would face Marcus Semien again, and with 1 out, Semien decides to crush it to the staircase in left field. A solo shot for Marcus Semien, who is another guy that always kills me, and I don't know why. He drills his 2nd home run of the year. It is now 2-0 Rangers. And then here's somehow a double play on a hit and run. Great turn by, I think it was Swanson and Muncy. I don't know though. But right back at us. Here's a double play, Seager. I told you it was the story of double plays. Just going to be a few of those this game. We then go to Lawrence Butler here with 2 outs. And he had proceeded to strike out, somehow swinging on that. He was our leadoff bat today, as Bo Karlik was taking the night off, or I guess today. Now we got 2 runners on in the bottom of the 5th, where it's Hunter Bishop hitting one up the middle, and another double play. Yeah, that was a sexy one, so I left that one in, but I did cut a lot of the double plays out. But Marcus Semien just like showing off against me. I don't know why he does this against me. I don't know why he can't do this against any other team, but he wants to do it against me. But it was beautiful, so I can't complain. Now go to the top of the 6th, where Taijuan Walker's still dealing, but he loads the bases here, gets a mound visit from manager Kang, and then he goes right back to it. Josh Young, 1-2 count, gets him the ground out, and Swanson barely gets this over to second base, but it ends the inning. Still 2-0. That would end Taijuan Walker's day. as we go to Kolarek here in the 7th. And with 2 runners on, Diaz can't field the ground ball, and it is an RBI single for Corey Seager. Here it is now 3-0 Texas Rangers. We now go against Joey Gallo here with 2 down, and Gallo rips one into the gap in right center field, and that would be 1 run easily. Second run, Seager would attempt to score, but the relay would be hella in time as he is gunned down by about 10 miles. But that would still increase the lead to 4-0 as Hassan Diaz now 3-2. He'd rip one, and this is somehow gonna count as a triple for him, as it bounced off the glove of the right fielder, and he gets all the way to third after the bad throw in. So a 2-out triple here for Hassan Diaz brings up Max Muncy here, and he would proceed to get an RBI single on a great swing, and it would be 4-1 Oakland here in the bottom of the 7th, as they would try to make a rally, but that would end it here in the 7th inning as Brett Martin comes on to try to get the hold for this inning, and he will proceed to do just that, as Kiermaier will fly out into left field where Joey Gallo is camping there. It is now 4-1 here, as they would take that lead all the way to the 9th, where John King would come out for the save, and he would proceed to do exactly that. 2 outs here, 1-2 count. Soderstrom, he'll strike out swinging, and that would end the game. 4-1, the Texas Rangers beat Oakland here in the division matchup. The win on the day would go to Dane Dunning, as the loss goes to Taijuan Walker. Josh King gets a save as Dane Dunning gets player of the game. Simeon also had a great game. Guys, thank you all for watching this episode of the Oakland Athletics franchise. And until next time, I'll talk to you all later.